Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's or today's Seekers Moment on Great Managilara's platform. Today, we will be talking about a very sensitive topic, and it's going to benefit every one of us. The reason why we're trying to make sure that today's Seekers platform is addressing the real life issue is because we've seen a lot of people come across to us as total novice who want to know, okay, what is the inspiration? What is behind what you guys are doing? And I, Hello, everybody. Sorry about that breaking transmission. We continue today. A lot of people talking to us about, okay, what's up with you? What is wrong? What are you guys doing? Are you saying there's no God? Are you saying there's no Jesus? Are you saying that we should quit living a life according to God's standard? Several many questions come in, and they come in handy most of the time. And so we decided to start up and say, okay, we're not going to live our life the way our own forefathers lived theirs. We are going to find out the truth and make sure that we do not fall into the pit that those who went ahead of us fell into. Sorry about that. I have friends with me here. We started off by saying, okay, let's start a group, and then we have the book reading arm of it. And today we have the privilege of coming together to review one of our very first book. The book is written by a person called Thomas. Thomas Ingersoll wrote the book called About the Holy Bible. This is the book we are reviewing today, and we will be reviewing it together, picking out the sense in it and the not so sensible part of it. I'll bring my friends online with me today, and you see all of them and be able to also interact. We take the book one after the other, first by telling you who Robert is, and we take the book one chapter after the other. Later on, I'll be bringing a friend of ours also from Europe into the picture. All right, so we kick off that way for tonight. All right, all right, all right. Our friends are here. All of them are here. Okay, okay, okay. I want to see those ones. I can see their face first. So we don't put ghost online. All right. I appreciate if I can see something pictorial about you. All right. So if you are not in the room with us, that means you have decided to ghost yourself, and then I guess you do not want to have ghost here. All right. So if you can see your face, we put you on. If you can't see your face, that means you are not so proud of what we're doing here, and so we put you on the save mode. All right. So I welcome everybody online today with me. I have God's power here. I have Olufunke. I have Femi. I have Ogini. I have Olukunle, and I also have Obong. Obong is a very wonderful student of mine, and we've been sharing a lot of knowledge together. All right, so we start today. The book we are reviewing is called About the Holy Bible. And we say, let's trash this thing once and for all. This is not a day where we now begin to now preach onto one another and say, okay, I have this idea, and everybody's going to be able to talk. And if you're also joining us from home, you can talk. We'll be taking the book one chapter after the other. And I'll give Mr. God's Power the privilege to open the floor by introducing to us who this writer is, the person of Robert, and so good is knowledge about Robert. So, Mr. God's Power, you can unmute your microphone and open the floors for us, please.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
I hope I'm being heard.
Yeah, you are live.
Okay. All right. I want to say good evening, everyone.
Good
And it's
evening.
a great privilege for me to be in this group and in this platform.
Hmm.
Before I just go on to what Greatman asked me to do, I just want to express my gratitude and my thanks to Greatman. This is the first time I find myself doing anything like this.
Hmm.
I've never been on social media in terms of live coverage like this, and I can only write some few things, maybe post Facebook and WhatsApp group and all that. But this is indeed a great privilege, and I think it's not a coincidence that I met Great Man
Hmm.
because it was on Facebook I met him. The first day I saw a post of him, I was like, "Who is this guy? This guy is reflecting my thoughts, you know." So I started following him. While I was following him, he now introduced me to the Telegram group. And since then, it has been, I would say, a bomb. I've met a lot of people on the group and sharing their thoughts, their minds, you know, it's been great. And I want to say that most times when I see a very good post on the Facebook group or on our Telegram group, I copy it and I also give it to my school group. As I speak to you, majority of them in my school group, they see me now as a devil, as an outcast, as whatever you can think of. But there are some of them who will private chat me and be telling me that, giving me a thumbs up that what I'm doing is okay, that I'm really enlightening them and all that. said, okay, you know. So it goes on and on like that. I want to just say that what we are doing here is not a mistake because almost every one of us have one or two experiences or a couple of experiences that were passed through the hands of religion. And for me as a person, I've always have this inquiry mind. And while I was in school, one of our lecturers, cost accounting lecturer, would always say, when it comes to the class, he say, if I tell you that 1 plus 1 is 2 or 3, you should have that inquiry mind to want to understand why should it be that way. And that has always propelled me in whatever I do. So when I met Great Man, in fact, it just blew it up. And I just thank goodness that all of us who are here and many more who are still to come, who are of great minds, will just continue in that faith and not be dissuaded in any light
Mm.
because the truth of itself is its own witness. I believe that. And it is only the truth that can liberate people. And as we continue to speak about this truth, irrespective of whose house is God, irrespective of no matter who the person is, without any fear or favor, we are not doing it for favor or for fear of anybody. We are just doing it for the sake of what the truth stands for and what it is. And great man, I appreciate you a lot. I
Thank you.
appreciate you a lot. Words I cannot, coordinate the words together to say thank you for what you are doing and what you have done. For the book we are reviewing today
Yeah.
about the Bible by Robert G. Ingersoll,
Yeah.
I got to find out that Robert is not just an ordinary man. He was born in 1833. Was born in 1833, although he died in July 21st in 1899.
Mm.
You know, he spent just 65 years on this our planet. And for me, those 65 years were not wasted. Imagine someone who was born 1893, I mean 1833, and for almost a century or even more than a century, today, what he wrote down many years ago is what we are deliberating on. I can imagine at his time the thoughts people had and the thought he had for the truth. And today we are, reviewing what he wrote to challenge our minds with the truth that he has given to us. Oh, if I just take a light. So this guy, he was a war veteran. This book was first published in 18, if I'm right, I think the first published was in 1894. He published the book in 1894, and he lived in a period where we have this free knowledge. People who are the free thinkers, and the first publishing was in 1894, like I said earlier,
The
and
book about the
I
Holy
think
Bible by Robert G. Ingersoll.
yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
And he was a leader and an orator.
the author seems to have been born a long time ago, and I wonder why we fell into the trap that they have warned us ahead of. I don't understand why we are still in the same trap that people have warned us about. I don't know why it's that.
But I'm surprised. I'm surprised because at his time and age, if they have such knowledge at his time and age, if they had such knowledge,
Mm.
I wonder why there was slow growth, in terms of exposing this knowledge. Or was it that the people were just obstinate? They were just not ready for the truth.
Yeah.
It's, it
Well,
baffles me
let's
that
let
at that
Mr. Gospower, let's just get straight down to the to the review for people who are looking, who want to look up for, okay, who have been talking about. It's Robert G. Ingersoll. He wrote that book about the Holy Bible, and from the first chapter to the last chapter, he actually he trashed the Holy Bible, so to say. And you'll discover that the Holy Bible is not so holy as you thought it is. It's filled with crap and nonsense. And it's a very painful truth for people
Exactly.
who are listening to us right now. It's filled with so many nonsense that you cannot imagine that someone actually taught you this, someone actually fed you all this kind of trash. So I guess we should just roll up with this chapter one. I want us to take it one chapter after the other. And for those who are at home, we want you to also put in
Okay.
your contribution via the comment section. He was talking about the origin of the Bible in the first chapter. And look at the way Thomas,
Yes.
Robert, actually started this whole thing. He was talking about a wandering families, poor people. Now, talking about the people who left Egypt. Now, that is if Egypt was ever a place where somebody was held captive. Now, for
Exactly.
all the speakers on the platform with me right now, either you are watching from our channel or you are in the virtual studio with me, from all the archaeological discovery they have been doing in Egypt, have you ever, one way or the other, come across any one of them that laid reference to the time that the children of Israel said they were in slavery in Egypt? Have you ever?
Not at
By
all.
any you
Nothing.
haven't.
Nah.
So how come we believe that
Not.
crap that
Not.
they were in Egypt? Now there was a particular person that was very notable in that their slavery day. They call him Ramesses. Ramesses happens to be the one that they said grew up with Moses. Now Ramesses became the king after that
Moses.
Pharaoh died. Now Ramesses that they said died in the river of seed, the river of reed, the Red Sea. Now let's clear this up. Red Sea is not Red Sea because it has a red color. As a matter of fact, it is not a Red Sea. It is Sea of Reed. Reed is spelled R-E-E-D. Sea of Reed. Now they said Ramesses died in the Sea of Reed. And Ramesses happens to be the longest serving and the oldest pharaoh in Egypt that has ever been discovered till now. As a matter of fact, he happens to be the one who was the last dynasty before the folks called Roman folks invaded Egypt and started westernizing everything they met there. Now, if we now compare the fact together, this is the person you said led his people, his troop against you and died in the Red Sea. Because our people in Africa, when they want to raise a prayer point, they say the Egyptians you see today, you shall see them no more. You always say that prayer point. That the Egyptian you see today, you shall see them no more. I don't know what brought about that particular mentality over them, but the Bible categorically stated to our people, Africans, that they should not go back to Egypt. So everything that looks Egyptian to them is a taboo, is a voodoo to them. Unfortunately, this Egypt, if you go back to the Egypt, you find out the truth about the Bible. So the Bible was actually doing what we call reverse psychology on most people, telling you not to go back to where your freedom is. However, when they said once Jesus died, Jesus needed to seek cover in that same Egypt. So it was
Yeah.
easy for them to say, from Egypt, I call forth my son.
My son.
When he's going to pay them, they refer to Egypt. When he's not going to pay them, they bastardize and demonize Egypt. Now, this guy is saying, this set of people called the Israelis, for a moment, let's believe they existed. Let's believe they are not the remnant of the Roman folks. Let's believe they are original Jews. They left Egypt, right? And then after leaving Egypt, they are poor, they are wretched. As a matter of fact, the Bible said they took gold and silver from the Egyptians. Excuse me, please. For a moment, think about this. If you took gold and silver from the Egyptian and you spent almost how many years did they spend in the wilderness, sir? How many years? Anyone there?
Yeah, about 400 or so.
No, no, in the
Or 400,
wilderness. I think they spent
40, 40.
40 years in the
40
wilderness.
years.
Now, the gold and silver they took from Egypt, for what purpose? For what purpose do they collect it? Is it to transact with which nation? Now, they spend the next 40 years. That means that's a misappropriation of natural resources. Misappropriation of natural resources. So these people are poor, wretched, without education, without act of power. They were enslaved for a while. They busted out of Egypt. And having busted out of Egypt, they spend the next 40 years by a loving God. Remember that this Jehovah is supposed to be a loving God.
Yeah.
A loving God that is straightforward, that loves his people, that doesn't waste their time. Remember that this Jehovah was stated that he goes before them by cloud in the day and pillar of fire in the night. That means
Yeah.
in the front of them is there. It's like a totalitarian of what we call GPS. They should not miss road. Meanwhile,
Not,
these people were languishing in the wilderness for 40 years. Wọn mọ ibi tó fẹ́ lọ. Oníranù gan láyé ìsìn, someone who does not have anywhere to go to in life would have gotten to somewhere within 40 years. And do you know they had to walk few kilometers into where they are supposed to go to? Within 40 days, they got there.
11 days straight.
11 days. Thank you very much.
11
Now
days
we
straight.
want to we are trying to consider the sense in all of these things. In sense in all of these things. Now they took all those things. They said God is their Messiah, is the one leading them. Because I want us to, for a moment, there are some of our people already agitating online today. Some of these people are here telling us that if that's the way you see it, is this, is that, and blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm saying. How related are you to these Israelis? There is nothing like spiritual Israelis. There is nothing like spiritual seed of Abraham. Even your own family here, they are poor, like church rats. You are claiming sons of Abraham, daughters of Zion. Do we have any Zion in Africa? Because we need to check this thing out. If there is no mental problem involved in what is happening in Africa, then I don't think there's something else. Pure madness, pure derangement. Now, these people left Egypt and they were working. For the purpose of having someone they could fear, Moses said a Jehovah appeared to him by the burning bushes. And so this is what you must understand. When the church pastors and the mosque imam try to control people, anywhere you hear someone say, God told me, fella say, run, no, run, no. If anybody want to ruin your life, they will first put you forward that God told me this, God told me that. And for the singular act of God told me, Moses controlled their life for many years. So these people who have brain, who have mind, cannot therefore think anymore until they send Moses to warn God to go and inquire for them. That's how myopic these people were turned into. And I'm seeing something here also. These people do not have relationship with other nations from that book. No relationship at all. They are in the wilderness. But they claim to be the chosen generation. They claim that their law is the law that every other part of the world must imbibe with for them to seek the face of God. I want us to talk about that intelligently now. I need everybody to give their contribution. Now, how come someone who left slavery, you came to, let's imagine for once that actually you were enslaved here in Africa. How come you happen to be a slave at one point in time, the slave of African folks, and all of a sudden you left our own slavery? Actually, we let you go. We actually allow you to. Because what most people do not know is that whenever they project that Egyptian stuff on you, they try to insult you as a black child, as an African person. So when we let you go, after letting you off the hook, you now said the Jehovah is the one who created you. And so we must now obey your own rule. That we must now be one who subject ourselves to your rule. And we chose to embrace that. I want us to deliberate on that for a moment. When did we go from the point of saying we are the center of civilization or the very first civilization to saying let us live our life according to 10 commandments? I don't know if anybody have that contribution, so that from there
Yeah.
we will now begin to talk
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
law. Yeah,
First of all,
you want
earlier,
go ahead.
earlier on, you talked about how they were in the wilderness for 40 years.
Yeah,
Now, if this God that they talk about, do you understand? Now we read about the Jehovah, do you understand? Who is supposed to be
yeah,
the all-knowing God. Do you understand? He's supposed to
yeah.
know where they go now. Why should they be in the wilderness wandering around for 40 years? When he's supposed to know the place, they're supposed to know that when you live here, you are going there. So they have simply told us now that even God no road.
It doesn't have a sense of direction, right? Is it that they are
You
lying
understand
on
what I'm trying to
God
say?
or there is no God at all somewhere there?
You understand? That's what it means. Is it that they are lying? They are just painting a picture of a Jehovah, because I don't understand. If I know where I'm going to, or rather,
Mm,
I'm to direct people. People are like under my, do you understand, my watch, and I'm to direct
yeah.
them somewhere. If I know where they are going to, I'll just simply point them to the direction and say, okay, if you are going to Oshodi, from Ogba, just get a bus to Ikeja and then another one to Oshodi. I would not say go to Ibadan first and then go to Ife before you then come back to. Do you understand? So it means that doesn't add up. Something does not add up.
It doesn't add up at all. Any other person want to
I
give
If I
a
mean,
may comment,
contribution? Yeah, go ahead.
if I may comment, so what they say is that they disobeyed God, they didn't listen to Him. That was why God decided to punish them and change it from 40 days to 40 years. So it was like a punishment for them for not doing what Jehovah wanted.
Now, this Jehovah ought to be the merciful God.
yeah,
Are you with me? This is all
a loving
Yeah,
merciful
God.
God,
yeah,
the one
yeah,
whose mercy never fail. Now,
yeah.
you, Femi, you are a father, or you are going to be a father. How
I am a
cruel can
father.
you be, Femi, that your son
Mm,
or your child disobeyed you, and you choose to let that child be a wanderer for 40 years? Oh, the
yes.
Yamolo, you are my cat. Are you getting the
It's
point?
not real.
Up until the moment that all of them that left
Yeah,
Egypt are to die in wilderness.
you have to
How
die.
merciful is that,
Yeah.
Jehovah?
Mm,
Can you get the point we are trying to
yeah,
pick out of
yeah,
this thing?
yeah,
Because the
yeah.
Jehovah we are talking about now seems to have the temperament of mankind. It's human being that you will offend and he will say, I will never forgive
I
you.
will not forgive you.
Exactly. But the Bible said the steadfast love of God never ceases. His mercy
Never,
never
never
come to an
fail.
end. They said they are new every
Yeah,
morning. So if the
morning.
mercy I was supposed to get from you expired yesterday, you are supposed to give me another slot today.
We
The
new one
mercy
today.
of God, yeah, the mercy of God ought not to be this kind of MTN recharge card that you will say you subscribe for 30
Special
days
card.
and you will finish it in 3 days. Are you
It
getting the
does not
logic there?
finish. It's always available according to the Bible.
All right, Emma, let me say something.
Now let's move to another place. Let's move to another place. Now
Yes,
Moses
Hello,
wrote all of these
always
hello.
things.
available.
Emma, sorry.
Moses,
Emma,
sorry, sorry, I don't know. Moses wrote all of these things, so to say. They call it the Moses Code or Mosaic Law. Can you imagine that when Moses died, he was still writing his own story? He was still writing about his own life. How sensible is that?
very funny.
Because it's
Make
the
sense
only
of that.
Bible. Oh, the Bible is the only place you see someone who is dead writing about the living.
Hmm.
Abi,
Very
didn't you
funny.
see?
I-
They said
I've always
God
been.
took him.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in my mind, I've always said something about the Bible that, you know, according to what they said, that people who wrote the Bible got inspired by God, right? But these are the people that told us that they got inspired by God. So how are we supposed to know that they actually got inspired by God? I don't know if you understand. I wrote a book and I'm telling you that I got inspired by God to write this book, and then you choose to believe me. I mean, there's really no sense in it, because how are you so sure that I really got inspired? Now, me, they tell you, you don't know. So these people who wrote this book are the people who told us that they got inspired by God to write it.
Anybody,
And we never
anybody
met.
can be, anybody can claim inspiration and get inspired. We will get
That's
to that
myself.
aspect.
Anybody can
If,
come
if,
and say it and say,
yeah, if a book is inspired by God, that book, I suppose, it should be perfect. There should not be
yes,
contradiction. There should not be error in it if a book is inspired by God. But it so happened that this book that was so inspired by God have too much contradiction in it.
addiction, a lot, a lot, a
Now,
lot.
let's now go into, say, this 10 commandment. I think we mentioned it in our last broadcast on Thursday. We'll continue it next Thursday. Now, this 10 commandment, how did they get it? There's something they call the 42 law of Mahat in Egypt.
Exactly.
It was an extraction of this 42 law of Mahat. I'll try and get it from you from Google, 42 law of Mahat, so people can just go and study it at their own leisure
I have
time.
it here.
You have it there. Yeah. So
Is
anybody
that the
can
same
just
as the 42 admonitions?
yeah,
Yes,
anybody can
yes.
just download it. I'm going to be projecting it right now, and I want us to take a look at it uh, systematically, and you will see that all these I receive inspiration, the tablet, and all of those things. You realize that it is just one come one gun. I'm going to be projecting it soon, and I would like us to read it. And you will see that it is an extraction of what the supposed law of Moses or the Ten Commandment happens to be. Now, I want us to also think about this. As at the time, as at the time that Moses was giving them the law, they are still in wilderness. He was giving them law about agriculture, about this, about that. But they were still in the wilderness. Those laws are not even applicable to these people. I'll be showing you this 42 law Mahatma. This is how it looks like. You can just go to Google and download it. You realize that
Yes,
most of these things
this
is
one I
there.
have.
Yeah. So, whose phone is that, please? All right. So I'm going to be reading it right now. The 42 law of Mahat states that I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offering. I have not stolen from God or goddesses. I have not been exclusively angry. It reads down like that till you get to 42. And you see
Yes.
that this is where they got this thing from. However, they laundered it and make it look like, okay, we are the one that God gave this law to. And so, at all cost, you must do what? You must obey us.
Hey,
Now, this is my question now to guys here and those who are watching us outside. How were Africans talking to this so-called God before Jesus died, before Moses came? Are we saying that we do not know the concept of God before Moses came or Jesus came? Because these people seems to come late. They look like they came way back, and we were ahead of them. Now I'm going to tell you a brief stuff. I learned it from is he Doctor Chief, is he Farkan or something, one American man like that. Scientifically, the skin of a white person is actually not as receptive as that of a black person. So a black person could produce white person, but a white person cannot produce black person. There's a particular gene.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
there's a particular gene
That,
in women that they
yeah.
pass from their body to their children, and it does not mutate. It does not get violated. It is called, is it mitochondrial Eve? They call it that particular gene, mitochondria. Now, that particular gene can only be found in African women. That is to say, the origin of life is here, Africa, this black world. Now, when men began to spread abroad, then we started having people being affected by snow, by geographical location, such that their skin began to become white. They began to mutate into something else. So a white person is a mutation of a black person, but a black person is not a mutation of a white person. Now, this is not about racism. We are trying to establish something that if God wanted to pass a message across, are we saying that he ought to? Are we saying that now we have to wait? I don't know where that noise is coming from. I don't know where that noise is coming from. Sorry, if you are not on, if you are not talking yet, please kindly mute your audio. All right, thank you. Okay. If you are not talking, if you have sound with you, please mute your audio so that it doesn't distract. I think Naji was making that noise. All right. So I just needed to establish that fact. But this, okay, I've shared it already. This 42 law of Mahat now became something they modified into having their 10 commandments. And so Africans just froze their brain today and decided to say, okay, the law of Moses, the law of Moses. There's nothing like law of Moses. These people plagiarize what we have. However, we were talking, okay, you want to say something? All right. Okay.
I've also always said it that how come, do you know that, they brought the Bible, the Quran and all of that and told us that this is the God we're supposed to be serving and all of that. But then they come here to buy our own God. All of those things they told us that is not, we are not supposed to. They will buy it with money, but they gave theirs to us for free. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
They use money to buy all of, they call it artifacts and all of that. They buy it and take it down there, but they will tell us that the Bible and the Quran is what we're supposed to have, but they are giving it to us free, but they are buying our own. If it is not so important, why are they buying it?
That's another
funny enough, great man, funny enough, do you know that most of all those artifacts they took away from Africa, all of them are lying in their museums abroad, and they are collecting money from people
for people to come and see
those things. They are collecting money, billions. The money they have collected thus far run into billions of dollars.
You understand? It doesn't make sense.
There is a need for us to wake up. So you say, our God, or the things that we cherish. This is where they now introduce Exodus chapter 22 to an average African. The Exodus chapter 20 is now reading. It says that thou shalt not bow to any other God. Graven image. They specified it. Graven image and all that. With that singular commandment, they messed up the whole artistic capability of an average African person. So you go to the house of an average African person. If you go to the house of anybody and you see all these figurines and all that there, you automatically tag the person as demonic. You get my point?
Yes.
But these are the things that these white people come to Africa to come and buy. When they couldn't buy it then, they were using guns and knives to take it away. Now release those things you call graven image. Release it to us now. Now you gave us your own ceramic Jesus. When you go to Catholic churches, you will see all this ceramic stuff. They are bowing down to those things. You say we should not bow down to all those things. Now you
they're even bowing to Mary. They're even bowing down to Mary, the mother of Jesus.
You can see all this nonsense. However, who are the people that wrote this Bible called the Law of Moses? The five first book of Moses. They call them the Pentateuch. The Pentateuch. And that's the reason why I said, okay, let me call a brother today and ask for his own knowledge about this. He'll be joining us in a jiffy. I'll be placing a call to him in a jiffy. He'll be joining us and he'll be saying a lot of things about the Pentateuch, how it was written, the council that was in charge of the writing of that Pentateuch, and all of those things. Who are these Pentateuch? Who are the Pentateuch? Hello, sir. We are here for you. We got to the review and we got to a place where we're talking about the Pentateuch. Sir, who are the Pentateuch? How were they able to come together to write this thing? What year? What are the things to know about it?
Okay. Miss Ayla, thanks for having me on your show. Can you guys hear me very well?
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear me, sir?
All right, I can hear you.
Okay. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for everybody being on the show. My name is Alex. You can just call me Alex.
All right.
So, the first thing I would say, if I walk to somebody on the street, allow me to say this little stuff before I get into the story, okay?
Yeah.
Because this is important part of the story.
Yeah.
If I walk to someone on the street and I was like, can you please tell me what time it is? And if that person tells me, I believe it's 2 o'clock, what that person is telling me that they're not really sure, but they think it's 2 o'clock.
Mm.
So anytime anybody invokes the word belief, that means it's a statement of doubt.
Yeah.
They are really sure, but they think so. So it's a statement of doubt.
Mm.
And also, belief is not a pathway to knowledge.
Mm.
I just want your listening audience to remember those 2 words, okay?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that the Jews will want you to believe in for all their lives to be true is the story I'm about to tell you, how the Bible came into being.
Mm.
And I want your listening audience to get a pen and a paper to write everything I'm going to say down so that they can check behind me. Because the community that I came from, we believe in bringing receipts. If you go to the store and buy something, you want to show that you legally bought what you bought in the store by showing the receipt. So every time I tell you something, I want to back it up with proof so that you can go behind and do your own research so that you can fully stand behind this claim. That makes sense. Mr. Eli, does that make sense?
Very, very sensible.
So I want you guys to take a pen and a paper. I'm gonna give you dates, people, and event that happened to give us what we have, the Bible. And I'll also give you guys something to think about. Okay. Alexander the Greek came into Egypt. And Alexander the Greek didn't live for a long time. After the death of Alexander the Greek, his successor to Alexander in Egypt, they called them the Ptolemy. That's what they called the name of the people that took over the rulership of Egypt after the death of Alexander.
Yes.
Under Ptolemy, under Philadelphia, Ptolemy II. You might want to write that down. Under Philadelphia, Ptolemy II. The Philo, which is also the library of Alexander. We have a library of Alexander. You guys can also Google what happened to Alexander, the library of Alexander, to get a full picture of what's going on. And I'll tell you what happened to the library of Alexander. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I want to get as details as I can so that your listening audience can go behind us and read and educate themselves further about some of the things I'm saying. So, Philo is the librarian of Alexander at the time, told Philadelphia Ptolemy II that the library was complete. Everything was good in the library, but the only thing missing in the library was that they have this book, they have this Hebrew Bible, but there are a lot of Greek-speaking Jews that were living in Alexandria, Egypt at that time that cannot speak or read Hebrew at that time. So they wanted someone to translate the Hebrew Bible to Greek so that the Greek-speaking Jews of Alexandria can read the book. So what Philadelphia Ptolemy II did is supposedly he sent message to Jerusalem to bring 72 rabbis, elderly rabbis, okay? To bring them to Alexandria, Egypt.
Hold on, sir.
Right.
Now, the reason why they call them the Septuagint is because they are 72.
I'm gonna get to that point.
All right.
I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna be as detailed as I am.
Okay.
I have a flow that going now. I'm gonna get to that point. It's supposed to go bring 72 rabbis or elder from Jerusalem to Egypt so that they can translate the book. And the book they're gonna translate, which bring me back to what you just said, is called, legally they call it 70. You call 72, it's L, X as in X-ray, X. But they call it 70, which is the Pentateuch. That's what they call the name of the translation that they did. But the number of people they actually brought is actually 72. But they call the book the 70 which is L-X, which is also called Pentateuch, right? Yeah. So this is the story. So when these 72 elders came from Israel, they divide these 72 people by 12 into 6 rooms. This is supposedly they divide them into 12 groups and divided into 6 rooms. And supposedly, and I'm using supposedly, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm using supposedly when I'm done with the story. And when these people came out after translating this Hebrew text to Greek, then all their translation was exactly the same thing. And for that, that's how they were sure that this is really inspired book from God. Okay, this is the story. Now, this is how they get the Pentateuch. This is the story that we were told. Now, to your listening audience, this is what I will say to your listening. This is what the Hebrew wants you to believe. But where do we get this story? We get this story from a letter called Letter of Aristus. I'll spell it for you guys. A as in Adam, R as in Romeo, I as in Igloo, as in Sam, T as in Texas, E as in Edward, A as in Adam, S as in Sam. Letter of Aristus written by Josephus. That's where we get this information. So if anybody wants to go behind me and check this story that I just told you, they can go and check the letter of Aristus in the work of Josephus. Now, but every scholar that did a peer review on this letter, they called this letter pseudepigraphy. I hope your listening audience know what pseudepigraphy means. If you need me to then what pseudepigraphy means, I will say so. Now, I will explain what pseudepigraphy is. Now, there are some problems to this story. One of the problems to this story is, if it's true that they do have original Torah or original Hebrew Bible at the time they produced that Pentateuch, if the story is true, at the time they did the Pentateuch, they have the original Torah. Why is it that we still have Pentateuch today, but we don't have an original Torah? We don't have a original copy of any manuscript made of the Bible that we have today. We don't have original. All we have is copies. So it's true, and we still have Pentateuch today. How come we don't have that? That's number one. Then number two, everybody that read the Bible knows that Pentateuch, which means the first 5 books of Moses, that's what is in Pentateuch, the first 5 books of Moses. Everybody that have done any reading on the Bible knows that Pentateuch was being written way beyond the death of Moses, after somebody's dead. So that's another hole in the story that we have, right?
Yeah.
Another. Yeah. If you have any question, you can stop me and
My question is, this Pentateuch, what is the source? Are we saying the source was in Egypt? Are they doing what we call plagiarism in Egypt to write what they call the inspired book from God?
Okay. Where they get the Pentateuch from? Like I said, I want your listening audience to read and confirm the stuff that I'm saying tonight. Where they get the Pentateuch from is all the scrolls of our ancient African ancestors. There was a lot of scroll in the Library of Alexander. There was a lot of stuff written on the wall in Alexander. There's a lot of scrolls in there. So when these people took all the information of our ancestors, all the stripes and all the information from our ancestors, what they do to the library in Alexander, if somebody go on Google now and type the Library of Alexander burning, you will go to pictures and you see what happened. So after they took all this information from the scrolls from our ancestors, they set the library on fire. That's how you get rid of the evidence. This is what they did. And everything I'm explaining to your listening audience tonight is based on scholarly work. Anybody can go behind me and check it. And the reason why it's important for me to keep doing that is we don't do believe, because believe is what gets people bamboozled.
Yeah.
Believe is believing in unverifiable stories and thought. So belief is not a pathway to knowledge. So I want people to really have a knowledge. That's why we use the discipline of scholarship to find out what we need, scholarship to find out the truth about whatever we want to find out. So that's how they get the Bible. That's how because the first Bible was written in Greek. That's how they get the Greek Bible after copying from our ancestors in Alexandria, Egypt. That's where they. But the Hebrew, the Jews, wants you to believe that there's a separate Hebrew Bible somewhere that they send people from Jerusalem to Alexandria to translate those things. That's what they want you to believe. But if that's true, how come we don't have the original Bible, original of that Torah today? We still have the original Pentateuch. So what happened to the original? How come we don't have the original of the supposedly Torah that they copy, that they translate the Pentateuch come from? You see my point?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
any other, so if you have any other
So
like
I've got a question. Sorry, I've got a
the
question.
sources of information to this information is called
All right, hold on, sir.
by scholar widely. It's yeah. Go
Hold
ahead.
on, sir. I don't know if you are watching
got a
us on
question.
YouTube. Someone said
Sorry.
he's got a question.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Femi.
Yeah, thanks. So the 72 rabbis that were brought in from, I don't know what the land was called then, were they the Philippines or I don't know what it was called. Anyway, what religion were they practicing, or what were they rabbis of? You know, I saying, or were they just 72 elders?
Now he's talking about the Septuagint, that was the 70. What was their religion at that point in time?
Okay. One thing I want our listening audience to know about our ancestors, the ancient Egyptians. We don't practice religion, but we do have spirituality. And white people, the so-called Europeans, did not develop anywhere else until they came into Egypt. So they did not have why the Western was developed in Africa, our ancestors. So we don't have a religion, but they have a spirituality. And what happened before Alexander came in, I don't want to go off subject, but since you asked this question, I'm gonna quickly touch on this. When Alexander came to Egypt, Alexander told our ancestors that when people go in the temple, because what the ancient Egyptian was worshiping, our spiritual triune in Egypt at the time is Osiris, Isis, and Eru.
Okay.
That's our spiritual triune.
Now hold on, sir.
Alexander came in. Go ahead.
Now Osiris, Heru, and who?
Isis.
I guess the Isis is also represented as Mary, right? The female goddess.
That Isis become Mary down the road.
Down the road. And what about Osiris?
Jesus becomes Eru, which is Serpent. Yeah, which is Serpent. I'm about to come to that. Jesus becomes the Eru. Osiris is the Almighty Father. So Osiris is the Father, Eru is the Son, and Isis is the Holy Mother. And that's our.
And I think it's also back up the concept of the Holy Trinity that they practice in Christendom today.
That's correct. That's where they get it from. They get it from our African ancestors that we had when Alexander came into Egypt. But Alexander wanted to be part of our spiritual system. And we don't just pick anybody to be part of our spiritual system. We have to consult the oracle before we make. We don't just make people part of our spiritual system. And Alexander got mad because Alexander said he doesn't want white people living Alexander at that time, living in Egypt at that time, to be going in the temple and bowing. Somebody go on Google and type in the picture of Osiris. He has a white nose and he has triple black features. They said they don't want to be bowing down to a God that looked like you and I. So they want another God made in the temple for them, so that when the white people goes in the temple, they have their own God that they and the black people. And the ancient Egyptians said, no, we're not doing that. But anywho, that caused problem. And long story short, start killing our people, right? But we do, in every society, you always have a sellout. In every Yobaniti or Giri Obalang, Allah warfare.
Yeah.
So in every society, there's always a sellout. So we do have sellout among us even way back then. And what they end up doing is they end up making an amalgamation image. Osiris and the Ptolemy, they call it Serapis. And Serapis is what end up becoming the Jesus the Christ. And for one of your listening audience to know how Serapis become Jesus the Christ, they have to read all the 9 ecumenical council to actually know all the historical event that led to the creation of man-made creature of Jesus the Christ that we have.
All right, hold on, sir. Hold on, sir.
Any question?
Hold on, sir. As you were talking, I was also doing the Googling, and I've been able to project the Osiris and the Apis. That's the bull with the sun on his head, and the other god that seems more African. And then how the Greek version of the Serapis came, and that Greek version looked like the Jesus they have today. Then
that's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct.
I'm also going to try and project another one, the combination of the Osiris and the Greek Osiris and the African Osiris that were just hand in hand. They were in two faces like this. So I think that was where they said, okay, the Africans can bow to the one that looks like this,
that's
right?
Correct.
And the Greek, the Westerner can bow to the one with the pointed nose. And that's how the whole thing came into being.
That's correct. I have a story for your listeners on that.
Yeah.
I'm married to a white woman. That's a conversation for another day. Okay. I'm married to a white woman, and I asked my wife, I said, I have a question for you. As if the picture of Jesus Christ that we have, everybody has, as we have this white image of Jesus Christ. If that person is a black African, will you or your family or the white people will go inside a church and worship that black Jesus? You know what my wife said? She said, no, they won't do that. She said, I kid you not. I kid you not. This is what she said. I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm fine. This is what she told me. She said, if the picture of Jesus or the status of Jesus that we know today is a black African that looks like you and I, is what they have to go in church every Sunday to bow to. They won't do it. This is how to make us think otherwise. And that's what happened when the Greek came into Egypt. And why is Greek? Why are they so interested in Jews? Why are they interested in Jews speaking? Why are they? I want your listening audience to go read a book. The name of the book is The Greek is Hebrew. I want them to read it. But why are the Greeks so interested in the Greek-speaking Jew of Alexander? Why are they so interested? And at that time, if anybody do their own work, at that time we're talking second millennium. At this time, nobody speaking Hebrew. Hebrew is not, there's nobody called Jews at this time, historically speaking. Okay? We're talking historically and academically speaking. Yeah. We're not talking pseudo. We're not talking folkism. We're not talking belief. If you want to believe, go to church. This is not belief. This is not feel-good message. This is pure scholarship. At that particular time, they wrote the letter of Arises. That's why every scholar said this letter is fake. every scholar said this letter is the fake. It doesn't work that way. So if any of your listening audience, or if you have another question, you can ask me.
Well, I realized that over the time, these therapies of the Greek actually started off as two-faced kind of God, one for the Africans, one
That's
for the
correct.
Greek. And as time goes on,
That's
the
correct.
one for the Africans was fizzled out, and it was replaced by this Greek or this Roman-looking human being that turns to the Jesus that people bow down today.
That's correct.
And from what you
And the
said,
linchpin,
yeah,
the linchpin, what I want your everybody always talk about Council of Nicaea. Council of Nicaea, everybody's quick to talk about Nicaea. Now, there are two things, and I want you guys to take notes. Council of Nicaea, there's no Christianity or there's no Christ till the 5th century. There's no Council of Nicaea has three main topics when that happened in Council of Nicaea. One is called Donation of Constantine. You guys can write it down and do your research on. And what Donation of Constantine means is the Melkite Egyptian Morphosite Egyptian. And this faction, for the most part, the monophysite is what ended up being Mohammedan as the Muslims there. I'm trying to make it.
Sir, I don't want you to go into that today. I wouldn't want you to go into that.
Wanted to. I'm not going into that. I'm not going to go into that. I got that, but I wanted. Let me say, they replace therapies. They replace that with Jesus in Council of Chalcedon. So anybody that wants to know when they actually replace therapies and replace it by Jesus the man, Jesus the Christ, you have to go read not Council of Nicaea, Chalcedon 451. So that's when, and all this ecumenical council is when they actually took everybody away and they replaced that with the Byzantine. The Byzantine are also the Romans. Okay, they replace it with the Romans, white people. That's what happens. And everything I'm telling you is you can get that through the discipline called history. This is human history.
Exactly. I'll say thank you very much, sir, Mr. Alex, for joining us on the program today. And this is going to blow the people's mind. And it's going to also push them into what I've been saying. If you don't read, you can't beat these white folks to it. Everything you need to set yourself free from this bondage of religion and all that is not by shouting on the internet. You need to go back to the book where they hid everything. I hope that we'll be able to call you sometime soon and you also answer us as you have promised us. Thank you very much, sir.
Let me say this before you go.
All right.
I want our listening audience and Africans to know that what Mr. Ilara is doing is giving back the knowledge of self. It's been said that if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. So it's very important to Africans to have knowledge of self. Anybody that doesn't have the knowledge of self cannot build anything. So, and the only way you can have knowledge of self is to educate yourself. A lot of people are not going to tell the truth. Not going to tell you the truth. And a lot of people don't know. So you have to, if you want to be really, really wrapped up in anything, I don't care what it is, you always go to the source. You always read. And I'll tell you this and I'll let you go. When a policeman pull you over in America, when a police pull you over, you know what they want to know? They don't want to know how many wives you have. They don't want to know how much money you have in the bank account. They don't want to know anything else, but they want to see your ID. You know why they want to see your ID? They want to find your history. They want to find a personality profile of who you are. And in anything you want to do, just like you're doing, Mr. Ayla, anything you want to do, you want to always go to the root of whatever you're trying to find out. Because if you're sitting in the church, some of the pastors don't know. Some of the people telling you this information they don't know. But you always have to, you have to go to the root and use the discipline of history and really find things out for yourself. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I'm so grateful. All right, so that is Alex there, and you can see he's a very knowledgeable person, and we are so glad to have him. I know we have spent a lot of time, but I would like us to go back to our book and continue the review a few times, and we'll let it go. Now, he was talking about the Pentateuch. The Pentateuch were the 70s, who are called the Septuagint, that were imported to come and transcribe, let me call it transcription of those things you normally see. I'm putting it in a layman term now. Those things you normally see on the wall in Egypt, those writing on the wall, those owl, those axes, those baskets, those birds, those snakes, and all those things that you see on the wall in Egypt. This is why they said don't go to Egypt. This is why they say you should not go to Egypt, because those are the things that they are translating. So when they say to you that it's an inspired book, they are telling you that they copied it. It was, if we have a copyright infringement law happening in their days, they should all be sentenced to some kind of 472 years imprisonment. They were telling the story they saw there, but in a plagiarized manner. And they were telling it in such a way that it was so diluted, it doesn't make sense again. They told the story in such a diluted format that it does not make sense again. They put a lot of lie. It's like taking 1% of truth and adding 99% of lies to it, and it messed a lot of things up. Now, for example, we have the Old Testament now. It was claimed that the Old Testament was inspired. And it sure sounds like it was inspired because lies are always inspired. Truth is fact. Do you need inspiration to tell the truth? You don't need inspiration to tell the truth. The sun is up there, the moon is up there. You don't need inspiration. But if you are going to lie, you need to be inspired to lie. Now, I'll begin to talk about this Old Testament. It has so many cruelty in it, and it was inspired. The man cruelty to man, the vengeance, the revengeful, the vindictive, the all sort of evil that is there, and yet it was inspired. This is supposed to be the word of God. And we're going to talk about the children of Israel and the Amalekites, what they went back to do. They said God said they should kill every single soul in Amalekite. For what? For what reason? Pass through my land and no greed. That one resorted to even a child that is sucking at that point should be killed. Now see what they are trying to see. They are projecting a certain figure of a God that is so dreadful, you dare not query him. And this God seems to be a lot confused. A lot of confusion is in this God. I don't know if any of us want to say something else regarding the Old Testament, your own kind of confusion regarding the Old Testament.
Well, if I have to say anything, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, your network is kind of very scrambling.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, talking about the Old Testament, that book is, I don't know, one of the most confused books ever to have been written because, like you said earlier, looking at the story of Elijah, for example, when he called down fire to devour some little kids or some two bears to devour some little kids, about 40 of them because they called him that he had bad head and all that. That not alone. If you look at the story of Achan,
Hmm.
look at the story of Achan, because he took some silver, some pieces of silver and goods, and Joshua lost the battle, and he went to inquire why. He said it was Achan, and he came back after slaughtering Achan and all his family, and he came, and God now said, "Okay, you cannot go to the battle," and he went and he won. The story goes on and on and on. It's all about bloodshed of innocent people. I don't think the creator of this heaven and the earth, who created everything in existence, is that wicked. And all we see in the Old Testament is about a bloodthirsty God. Somebody who wants to see blood. If he does not see blood, he is not pacified. I don't think that's a God I want to associate
And
myself with.
especially, I think God specializes in drinking the blood of the innocent people. If we are to put it.
So much in the Old
Now, the
Testament.
story of Achan that you said, now they were going to fight a nation, they saw that they failed. What are you supposed to do as a
Mm,
normal human being? You revisit your strategy. So you said
exactly.
Achan stole something. Now, the person
Mm,
that stole, can you see the contradiction here? Now, there's a part in the book of, is it Jeremiah or Ezekiel? It said, the son shall not bear the iniquity of the father. It
of
said,
the
the
Father,
soul that
yes.
sinneth shall be the one
Shall
that died.
die.
Now, but
Yes.
in the same Old Testament, you see the story of Achan. Achan was the one who stole. His children are
Mm,
innocent. His wife innocent. His family members are innocent. But this God was so furious and he was so bloodthirsty that when they killed Achan, they killed him along with his family, who are so innocent. Now, the story of Daniel also, when they planned against Daniel, put Daniel in the dungeon
yes.
and all that, these are political men. Now, when this God was going to do his own ratification of his anger and all that, the children of these people were killed
They
alongside.
killed.
Now, look at the
Look
case
at
of
Mordecai.
Even Ahab and Jezebel. They are the one that you
Yes.
said they are bad people. But when you are going to kill them, you also messed up the life of their children. Ogini, you want to say
Mm,
something? Go ahead.
Yeah. Talking about the Old Testament, even from the beginning of the Bible, it still doesn't
Hmm.
make sense. Now, why would God create Garden of Eden, okay, and then put Adam and Eve there? If he knows that that tree of fruit of life or whatever, they understand that they are
Hmm.
not supposed to eat from it. Why put something that they do not need in the garden in the first place?
I
Are you
wonder.
trying to
I
test
wonder.
their I don't understand. They don't need it.
Yeah.
You know that when they eat it, they would know what they are not supposed to know. So why would I want to test my child? Why would I want to
Be-
put something that I know he does not need and would affect him? Do you understand? Now,
Ogini,
first, another thing is it also
go on.
shows that God, the God that they're talking about, is not a forgiving God, because that's like the first time they were going to make a mistake. They made that
Hmm.
mistake, and the next thing is you cast them out of the Garden of Eden. You told them that they are going to start eating from there. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Just one mistake, one, and then you got angry and everything that you created. Do you understand? And then
Yeah.
now you what did you say, sir?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm with you.
Okay, they made that mistake. Something that could have been corrected there and there. You did not correct it. You cast them out, you lay the curse on them and all of that. And then because they made that mistake, according to you, you've been trying to get them back all this while. That's why Jesus even came in the first place. So the
He came
mistake
to
that
die.
Adam and Eve made
Hmm.
for that sin. So that's why some people call Jesus the second Adam. The
You
all
know,
of the story does not just add up.
this God is supposed to be the God of
Hello?
love. And sorry, Nanji, give me a second, please. This God is supposed to be a God of love.
Yeah.
So he actually will kill you if you steal a goat, or he's okay with you doing polygamy. Now remember that this God, at a point in time, was meant to be a God that loved all mankind, irrespective. You say, for God so loved the world, he now made a mistake. Instead of him to give his only begotten son for the people in Sodom and Gomorrah, he killed them. Maybe his software now got updated along the way and he decided to calm down by himself. Those things doesn't make it. Why would you kill everybody? Now, I want to also add. Now, they said there's a lot. And let me quickly finish this. They said there's a lot and a student in the same Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
You allow them to leave, only for them to escape to a certain place. And the very thing that you killed the people in Sodom and Gomorrah for, they also did it. Children sleeping with their father. You did not rain down brimstone on those ones, but you rain down brimstone on the ones that, honestly doesn't make sense. Please go ahead, Femi.
Yeah, at times, one of the things I was thinking of earlier was as if the Old Testament and the New Testament, they're talking about two different gods in a way, because it's as if the New Testament tries to present God as a forgiving God, but maybe he changed his mind. He used to be a badass, kick anybody, beat anybody, or then he changed his mind and said, "Okay, I want to be nice now."
The devil they are fighting in New Testament is the God they were worshiping in the Old Testament. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because they said the devil goes about killing, stealing, and destroying. It was the attribute of the God of the Old Testament.
Somebody said,
"Great man."
Go on.
But the funny thing is, the God of the New Testament will still put you in hell, though. If
at the end of the day,
you don't believe it. If you don't.
However, great man, someone said that what they did was, after they had seen that the God of Old Testament, that God is not good enough to sell to people, so they rebranded. You understand? They then rebranded and made the God in the New Testament a loving God. And somebody said that's what we have failed to do as Africans. Now, at the mention of Shogo and all of them, people go to fear. Say, Shogo is a god of thunder. It brings out fire and all of that. So we have failed to actually rebrand our own God and say, okay, God, Shogo, and according to what I heard, or what I've read rather, that Shogo was an upstanding man, upright man when he was alive. Then he did good things and all of that. You understand? But in our mind, the thought of Shogo, when you hear Shogo, the first thing you think of is fire.
Because they are demonized. Have you forgotten that in the same Old Testament, this God also behaved like Shango in the days of Elijah? If you go to
that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That they've rebranded that God. They've rebranded the God. So even when Jesus came, Jesus said, all of those 12 commandments by Moses, he summed up into one now: love.
Yes.
But then this love now, do you know that this love for God is partial? If you do not accept his son and bow down to that image of Serapis, this God does not share his love on you.
That's the part of it. That's part of it I do not understand. I don't know why. That's why I don't understand religion. Everybody is trying to tell you how to serve their own God or the way to serve him. That's even in Christianity. The Catholic will tell you that the Pentecostals are not serving God the right way. You understand? So people have perception of this God in different ways, and they believe that you must serve him like this. That's why I've always had a problem with the Bible. You cannot tell me that the only people that will go to heaven, so to say, is people who believe in Jesus. So you are saying that the upright man who is a Muslim, who was born a Muslim, who has always been, done things right, just because he's Muslim, he will not go to heaven if the heaven actually exists.
See, let me now say.
Do you understand what I mean? So that's the problem I have.
In that same Bible, you will realize something. Robbie still called you. I think the person who was writing it is always getting high on janja, on weed before he writes it. Now, at the point in time, they tell you that okay, this God, it doesn't matter what you do. They say as long as they say circumcision or no circumcision, it does not concern God. Doing what is right is what please God. Now, even if you now do what is right and you have not still confessed this Jesus, they still believe that all your righteousness is nothing but a rag before God. And You wonder what is happening. What is happening now? Let's hear what Robert said. Robert said something about Jehovah's administration. I posted it. Well, I'm just going to read through it. I want us to follow. He said Jehovah's administration. He said he created the world, the host of heaven, a man and a woman, placed them in a garden. Then the serpent deceived them, and they were cast out and made to earn their bread. Jehovah's plan was thwarted by his own creation. Was it not the same serpent? Was it not God that created the same serpent? How come he doesn't have power over the serpent? How come he is not all wise to know that this serpent I'm living with these people in the garden will confuse them? And like you said, Ogini, that we know this thing will mislead people. I am a father. I cannot, if I know the weakness of my child, I do what they call rehabilitation. Rehabilitation starts by removing someone from where they will be tempted into where they will not be tempted. When FBI was started, they will lock you up in a room for many months, and the only thing they will expose you to is original currency of dollar, such that when you see fake one, you'll be able to react against it. But this God seems to lock people up with sins that will beset them. And he said his plan was thwarted. He said, then he tried again. He went on for about 16 years trying to civilize people. There was no school, no church, no Bible, no tract. Nobody taught to read or write. No 10 commandments. The people grew worse and worse until merciful Jehovah sent the flood. The merciful Jehovah. Merciful Jehovah sent the flood. Oh, they cleared everybody. He cleared everybody. Except for Noah and his family. 8 of them in all. Look at the story they gave us. Because Yahoo boys can even do better than this God. Honestly, the format is not working. Then he started again. He changed their diet. You know, for Adam, he gave them vegetable. For Noah, he gave them meat. They still mess up. He failed again. And then the Tower of Babel, he dispersed people, he scattered them, finding that he could not succeed with all the people. He thought he would try a few. So he selected Abraham and his descendants. Again, he failed. And his chosen people were captured by the Egyptians, enslaved for 400 years. Now, this God created this Abraham and his descendants. But we captured them. We, the Africans, we captured the people that were chosen generation, the royal priesthood, and enslaved them, according to their story, for 400 years. So we beat God to it. These are the people that God chose, but we beat him to it. We, the black men, said, then he tried again, rescued them from Pharaoh and started for Palestine. Then he changed their diet, allowing them to eat only the beast that parted the roof and chewed the cord. Again, he failed. Then he hated them. Then they hated him. They were blaming God now. Said, we should have left us in Egypt now, instead of bringing us here. Of all the trial I was doing. Yes, Ogini, go ahead.
Yeah, everything does not add up. Oh, now, in the first place, yeah, what did the when at that Noah when Noah built the ark and he asked people to come into the ark and they did not listen and all of that, and then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and you know, now only 8 people, right? That's including plus Noah, made it alive.
Yeah.
So does it mean now that these people also practice the same thing that they did in Babel and Babel? What was the name of that place that they started sleeping with each other? Because I don't understand how did we all came to be again after the only 8 people that were left in the world?
The story they gave us was that we happens to be the descendant of Ham. You know, Ham happens to be the one who saw his father and make mockery of him. Now let's look at that story very well.
Okay.
Ham happens to be the forefathers of the Canaanites. And Ham is also the forefather of Nimrod. So as blessed as Japheth and Shem were, Ham still beat them to it through his own grandson, Nimrod, to build the largest and the tallest of all. But they said their father, who is Noah, caused us that we can never be anything, we will be the slave of people. However, remember that it was after they said their father caused us and we happen to be the generation of Ham, that we still capture them in Egypt for 400 years. And if only we wake up today and take the bull by the horn, eject their religion from amongst us, we will still rule them. So they intentionally pitch themselves against us using the instrument of this God. However, without this God, we can make things happen. Noah caused harm, said now look at the psychology of this so-called prophet of God and the holiest of all. It was the father that offended you. You now began to curse your grandson. Ham is the father of the Canaanite. But all of a sudden, they said the shadow don't come up for your eye. When you were not going to lay a curse, you didn't lay a curse on your own son, which is Ham. You just lay a curse on his child, which is Canaan, and your grandson. And Nimrod happened to be among the generation of this Canaanite. And your children have to fight the Canaanite, how to live in their land. Now, unfortunately for them, the same land that the black people occupy, which they call Canaan land, happens to be the same land they by themselves call the land flowing with what? With milk and with honey. These are the people that were cursed. The land of the people that were cursed is flowing with milk and honey. So what can you do as a person? You now brought sword. You brought instrument of weaponry to come and steal by force, which is what they did during the time of slavery. Can you see the way the whole thing is not making sense? It's not. That irrespective of how much they want to that irrespective of how much they want to box us in a corner, we keep springing up. I believe they didn't know that such a day as this will come, when African men will gather together and begin to reason that this Bible, this Quran does not make any sense. I believe they do not know that a day will come when we will say, take this to your Jesus. However, do you know that today they are beginning to say that they should not have white Jesus anymore? The Archbishop of Canterbury, or what they call it, is now beginning to tell people that Jesus doesn't have to be white, using every medium to make sure that they still sell this their fictitious or fiction character to us at all costs. So either their Jesus is white or Jesus is black. We say, we know they do again. We don't want to take this nonsense again. So you realize that there's a lot of failure on the side of God here. So at a point in time, when he was tired of trying through anybody, he came down by himself. The very people he came to save, they still kill him. They still killed him. He said he came in the image of Jesus. And he came and they still killed him. All right, so when you want to see something, there's a particular, there's a particular warning sound from the side.
Let me check this one.
This is not. So whatever they do, you realize that they keep failing. Only if Africans can now come to their senses and begin to.
Maybe now.
All right, it's better now. Go ahead.
Yeah, fine. The first quality of an intelligent human being is the ability to ask questions.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing religion take away from you.
Yeah.
They tell you this is what happened, you must not question it. And in the process, the truth becomes the lies, and the lies become the truth. And that's how we have been passing it over from one generation to another generation. And now, by the time you now start asking questions, now, this day we realize that we have one way or the other, it's been too long. Many times I will see many people, I will weep internally. You know why? The book program they run in their brain while they were coming up was the wrong program, especially on religion. They made them to be heavily conscious and actually useless. And like what it says in this book, it was saying the time that it's more or less like a bribe that your life now make it to be useless. I will give you somewhere important when you come over there. How will you have progress? How will there be progress in the society, in human race? When what we're supposed to do is we ask us not to do it. And we are now all hoping for what is to come. Now, I was telling some people today when I went out somewhere. I went to Oyo today just with my kids just to take them out like excursion. I was now discussing with some those people that were taking me around the Alafin Palace. I saw some of those statues of the gods that they put there. I said I didn't mean it as the people that swear into different political offices swear in the name of these gods here. They will do the right thing. But because they know that nothing will happen to them with the one that they are using to swear, that's why the fraud in this nation continue like this. And that's why there won't be progress. So it is until we start on learning as we are doing now. Thank God for this corona that happened this year. We'll be able to see the good, the bad, the ugly of what we have been fed all the while. So I believe now we are in the process of unlearning and relearning. And that's why we see people like us coming up out now and start asking questions. Now why this, why that? Are you sure? Because like you are saying now, you say you are a loving father, a God that cares for everybody. But in the slightest mistake, you destroy them. What was the difference in the sin that Lot and his children committed from the one that people in Sodom and Gomorrah committed? Once you blackmail some people, whether good or bad, you won't be able to ask questions about them. Whatever you write about them is what is doomed for them. So that means thank God that it is even in this generation that we are alive. That means I didn't mean we are alive in those generations. We would have just gone like that, bang, just because somebody was annoyed, just because the one God is not pleased with us, and there's nothing you can do to it. He do whatever he wants at will, and they continue telling us that this same person is a loving father, he cares for all humanity. So how do we discern it? So we continue to grow in the wisdom we are finding ourselves now. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Kunle, for your contribution. I really appreciate that. All right, so I guess right now let's just attend to a few comments and we wrap it up for the day. Ademola is saying, "See, gentlemen, Christianity is divided." Now, please, everybody online with us, let us take note of the word divided. And this man just shot them in the leg. If he happens to be the representative of the Christian folks, within 1 second, we should finish him and send him back in golden casket to the people that sent him. Now we said Christianity is divided. If something is true, why is it divided?
I wonder.
If it is true, why is it divided? Now, under Christianity alone, we have the Catholic, we have the Methodist, we have the Anglicans, we have the Baptist, we have the Lutheran, we have the Holy Movement of whatever, we have the Pentecostal. Now, under the Pentecostal, I believe we have the Redeemed, the Deeper, the TDJ Exporters House, all of those things. Under Pentecostal, we have the white garment, we have the cherubim, seraphim, we have what is dividing you people? If you people are serving one God, one Jesus, and you are actually believing in one thing, why are you so divided amongst yourself? Even your house is not in order. Now, what did your Jesus say? He said, if a house be divided against itself, it shall not stand. And a house that is divided against itself is a house built on a sand, not a solid rock. So you have just shot your people in the leg. He said, the only thing the Bible reveals is the true God. The thing you read in the Old Testament, you can't take it literal. Why is it there? The rep of the Christian is saying the thing we read in the Old Testament, we should just take it as lies, as mythology, as folklore, as a time-wasting mechanism, just to condition our brain ahead of the New Testament. And you that is writing this, I think you should also read what you're writing. If only you can read this thing very well by yourself, you realize that you are free forever. You are free forever. We have a caller. I don't know. Hello, caller. Please go ahead with your contribution. Okay, we lost that. All right. So said they are esoteric. What does esoteric mean? Hello, caller. Hello.
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 Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, good evening, great Mayulara. This is Igbe Okosu.
Oh, okay. Hi, Igbe. How are you?
Well, I'm very well.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. I quickly want to, because all you've been saying here is what I have been saying, and then I've always asked them this. Though before I go further, let me, like you were replying to this man, this brother, Mr. Ademola,
yeah,
and then you know why the Bible, why there are different denominations and different factions of the Bible is very simple. It is because lies has different factions. By reason of you need more lies to defend the or lie that is told before. So by reason of that, lie will not accumulate different factions. That is why you are seeing factions in the Bible. So the Bible has a lot of accumulated lies that carries different factions and then different denominations. So let's leave that by the wayside. Now, I want to quickly take us to the Garden of Eden. If the story of the Garden of Eden, rather, because it's a story fiction.
Yeah.
Now, in that story, we were told that sinned, and because of that, when God came looking for them in the garden, and then we were told that God is omnipresent. How can God, who is the omnipresent, come into His presence and be looking for His children in His presence? Why He is the omnipresent?
And He's the creator of the garden. He put them there. But all of a sudden, when He got to the garden, He was asking, Adam, where are you?
Yes,
those one now said, I am hiding. Why are you hiding? He now said, because I am naked. Who told you you are naked? Are we even foolish? How did we believe all these things?
Laughing, now you watch film.
The big question is, how can someone hide from the presence of omnipresence? That is to tell you that, really and truthfully, there is limitation in that presence. He is not omnipresent. Secondly, we were told that after Adam and Eve sinned, God caused Eve that she will have pain in childbearing throughout her life. Then the person who they are referring to as second Adam rather, came to pay for their sin, right? After this sin has been paid for, till date, women are still undergoing labor, they are still undergoing pain in childbearing. Why that pain is supposed to be eradicated if Jesus Christ really paid for the sins?
Even the women who have accepted this Jesus as their Lord and their personal Savior. Let's be putting personal to it. They are still going through the pain of
Yeah.
childbirth. Some of them are still suffering from child mortality, dying on their labor pain.
Yes, yes, they are still dying. You're right. They are still dying on their labor pain, and human are still being infected by one disease or the other. Why Jesus Christ has paid for the sins. Now, we were told that the Garden of Eden, they now have proof. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm here. We are here.
The Garden of Eden. Now, where is the fruit, the tree? It's in the whole world at large. We're supposed to be seeing the tree that is forbidden, that humans cannot eat from. Where is the tree? We can't find it. Now, how come God, who is a loving father, caused Esau, even when Esau was still inside the mother's womb, a child who knew no sin, who knew no bad or no good, has not committed any offense? So it's just that we people, we are not, we just accept Africa. What they've done to us, to African people, they systematically put this book together and bring it back to us to demonize African deities. In other words, to disarm us. We have been disarmed. We have been rendered harmless. Our deities has been demonized. We now see it as evil. You understand? That is what they did to us, because that is what the
Hello. I think we lost Mr. Ila. We have to wait.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, who's talking?
This is an open platform for everybody. You get? This person is saying if they actually have to denounce claims about God, let them engage those that are intellectually sound. You can't use error of a few to condemn everything about God. Now, we are not even talking about pastors here today. If anybody take note, we have not mentioned the pastors. We have not mentioned any church owners. We are talking about the Bible itself. Are you agreeing with us that the Bible is also error? So if the basis of your belief is erroneous, what are you doing there? If all of these things we are pointing out and we are proving to you, giving you date, giving you scholarship to go and confirm, if they are erroneous, what are you still doing there? And it is a very free to come kind of show. We have the WhatsApp number scrolling down there. You can call to talk against or for. It's an open-minded platform. We don't even abuse people here. And I see another comment. There's a love mayor that is responding to Joe saying that exactly. You can have a forum of the same people who want to disprove the Bible and expect it to be unbiased. Not possible. If they truly believe that if they truly believe what they are talking about, I will be glad to come on the broadcast. Wow, wonderful, and answer their questions. If they seek to understand why some of us believe in the Bible, we are not afraid or too uneducated to defend what we believe in. Please, love mayor, kindly drop me a message on my WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is scrolling underneath. We will be glad to have you. But please, it will be you against us. So please don't feel sentimental, don't feel deprived if we start making fool of what you are believing. And I'm not going to bring our people, I'm not going to bring these intellectual folks online the day you are coming. It's going to be you and I, and other people can just call in. So it's not going to be biased at all. So you are free to send me a message. We'll arrange for you to come online, and please come with proof. Don't you ever come on this platform and tell us to look at anything from the eyes of the Spirit. Please do not make mockery of your salvation by telling us to let's look at it from the eyes of the Spirit, or let's look at it prophetically. Don't bring prophetically here. Bring scholarship here. Bring your books, bring your reference, bring everything here. We will be glad to answer you. All we're saying is that if you are the right person, we will follow you. If we are the right person, let our people be free. It was your Moses that said that, free my people and let them go. We'll be glad to bring you up here. Thank you very much. So, do we have another thing? Sifo Joe, I'm following that particular thread, said, love mayor. That's why I hardly listen to such lopsided discussion. I can't hate you for believing what you believe, but if you want to disprove what others believe, you must be open to discussion, especially with those you are opposing their belief. My problem is that this is an open platform. Why are you guys not talking? You are just bragging between yourself. All of you are saying exactly this one is saying or correctly. All of you are not saying anything. You have to put it here. You want to call in. We put number out there. If you want to even be in a virtual studio, we send you a link to be part of the virtual studio. What are you scared of? Bring your belief out. Sometimes if we are not broadcasting, we are also explaining online. Bring your belief out against, be it for or against what we're talking about. So I don't think you guys are maximizing time by talking to yourself in seclusion within yourself right here. So please, if you have any proof, you want to say something, kindly just bring it up here, and we will kindly just attend to you. So our brother that was speaking about Bible being is he esoteric? So I was giving this meaning of esoteric. So to be esoteric means intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. That your Bible, if it is esoteric, I'm looking for his message again, because we're trying not to be biased, so that it won't be as if we are bragging or we are bashing some people. Now, thank you. This man said, Babalola is saying that the Old Testament is esoteric. They are pointed to Jesus the Christ. Now, this book, if it is esoteric, it is intended for some set of people, selected few people to understand. Why are you selling it to the general public? Why don't you make it a cult within yourself, so that we know that these few people are going to be the one who are going to be understanding it? And what is so holy about a book that everybody cannot access? What is so holy about it? All right, Obon, going to say something, you can unmute yourself and talk. If you want to say something on the program, just signify.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, go ahead.
I just want to respond to this Ademola Babalola and that Osita or whatever the last comment we got was.
Osifo Joe. Actually, it's
Osifo,
an
yes,
Osifo.
Osifo.
Must you respect?
Okay.
He's a man I love.
All
Very
right.
serious.
Okay. That's fine. For all of us that are in the virtual studio right now and the community at large, there is something that is common to all of us, and that is the fact that we have all passed through this Bible at one point or the other. I have if there's anything like we've read from Genesis to Revelation, I think it is applicable here. So for them to come and be saying, like, in fact, I would like to take on that Mr. Osifo Joe up in a door. Honestly, let us slug it out one-on-one. There's nothing he wants to say that I would not count. See, from Genesis chapter 1 down to the last chapter in Revelation, there are errors. So you cannot come to say the message in the Bible, even though there are errors, is for some people. Or see, let's just call a spade is what it is, and not farming instrument. That book is just a literature. It's just a literature. Trust me. I have read the Bible where they say suffer a witch not to live, and I've read another part where they say thou shalt not kill. I have read the part where they said no man has seen God, and I've read the place where Moses said he saw God one-on-one.
And then the other part that Abraham was eating barbecue and you got with God. You know, when they came down, God and two angels, when they want to go and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, God was now eating barbecue and you got. After he finished, out of the abundance of that food, you know, a way to a man's heart is his belly. So he could not understand. But when they were departing, two angels now left. I wanted to go and read. Two angels now left. Now, the Bible now categorically said, Abraham stood before the Lord and he was interceding for who? For people in Sodom and Gomorrah. So if you have not seen God, if God does not age, if God is spirit,
how do you stand before him?
Worship in the spirit and in truth, how come he has a mouth to eat? Can it make sense? What people should understand is that we are not trying to disprove the existence of nature, or we are not saying we created ourselves. We are saying the Bible God, the Quran God, is not the God. It's no God at all. That's what we are saying.
It is that simple. It is that simple. All right. So the other part I would like to conclude with is there is a part of indoctrination. You understand? I think that is how this message keep getting spread, and I fear for the coming generations, our children specifically, because they even if they don't go to churches or mosques, they go to schools, and trust me, all of these schools have what they call devotions, or in their curriculum, Christian religious knowledge and Islamic religious knowledge, and all, where they can still be, because at that age we call it formative stage. They can be formed. And the kind of society we have, not many parents can be around to review what their children actually do in school on a daily basis. Sometimes their children are actually asleep before they come back from work. So it is that thing they pick from school or what they watch on the TVs that they take up to a certain level where it will be very difficult to make us unlearn what they have learned. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so it is that same indoctrination that is still spreading this message. If there is a way we can guard against this indoctrination, in all honesty, in another few decades, this whole thing will be done with. That is it. So
well, I believe you, and however, unfortunately, there's no way to deal with the indoctrination, because the religion has actually taken hold of the media. Even the marketplace, the labor market, is filled up with religious bias. So when you submit your CV now, they begin to ask, what religion do you practice? So you're either Christian or Muslim.
Of someone that lost a job simply because he said he doesn't pay tithe.
Imagine that kind of nonsense.
They said his refusal to pay tithe to hinder the growth of the company, so he was not hired, and he was the most qualified.
Imagine. Can you see the kind of society we are? Now, in our society, you will send your children to school. People, listen to me. You send your children to school with your own money. They remove your own history. Let's even leave African history. They remove Nigerian history. Some of your children don't know who is Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. They don't know who Abafemi Awolowo is. They don't understand who Nnamdi Azikiwe is. They don't understand all those wonderful people, but they understand Jesus. They were teaching my daughter how Jesus turned water to wine. She came home. I said, this is water, baby. Turn it to wine. She said, it can't turn to wine. I said, does it make sense? She said, no. I said, write it in your book. She took it to school. The teacher failed her and told her that what I told you is what you should write. Write what I said, not what you think. Imagine the kind of trauma they give to this child. We don't have a choice than to succumb because they were teaching her CRK. How does CRK of the Jewish history benefit an African child? How does IRK of the Saudi Arabia, the Arabic force, benefit an African child? Now, these people are online here. They are dragging with us. They are saying we are trying to denounce God. Your children are becoming empty-headed. They cannot even brag about their origin. They cannot brag about their history. They say Black Lives Matter. You remove history from school. You say Black Lives Matter. Person will not know what Black life is. How will you make it matter? They are busy studying CRK, IRK in school. They intentionally remove our own history from school. And you say Black Lives Matter. Can you imagine what we are doing? Black life will not matter until Black history begins to matter. Let me tell you something. Why a woman who is a Jew is more important than a man who is a Jew is because they are the custodian of the Torah. One Jewish woman is worth more than 10 Jewish men because their job is to, at the age of hypnosis, to ensure their children understand the Torah. They are the one to pass on the story or this fake story of Abraham did this, somebody walk on water. They don't even teach you. Imagine now in Israel now, they don't. 2% of them are the one who believe in this cock and bull story of Jesus walking on water. Go to Israel, they will be making jest of you. Go and ask them who is Yeshua or whatever. 98% of them, or let's say 95, not to exaggerate, they are still practicing what they call Judaism. They don't even believe in their Jesus. It is Christians outside Israel that believe Jesus came to die for their sin. This is what I'm asking. What is your sin? Black people, what is your sin exactly that you needed someone to come and die for you? Which did they worry you? What did you do? What have you committed? That you need a savior is a personal Lord and Savior, as if it's a customized phone. You can imagine what is happening in our world today. We send children to school to go and learn. They are teaching them about one Jesus that walked on water, one Moses that brought water out of the well. How will our children be wise? How will they get wisdom? How will they be mentally stable when you are teaching them that somebody brought water out of the rock? When Oyinbo people are inventing bore drilling machine every day? Where will our children become inventors when they do not understand the fact that our ancestor back there in Kemet, in this land called Africa, did the first irrigation through the river Nile? Sorry, we have a caller, and that will be the last caller that will be calling us today. Hello, please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, sorry, great man. Can you hear me? Clearly?
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. Because I've been following you quite well, and I'm one who get the message. My name is Ademola.
Thank you.
So, though I'm not prepared, now to come up, but I just feel like just to chip in a few things in regards to my, comment I made.
Yeah.
I said the Old Testament, they are esoteric.
Okay. Hold on, please. So this is the Ademola that wrote that particular comment. I would like us to be very nice to him, and I really appreciate the fact that you are calling us to giving your own contribution. Blessings to you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because when you read the Old Testament, there's a little bit of mix-up or confusion about the true God and what is actually taking place there. Now, coming to the New Testament, when Jesus came up into the scene, there was a very different kind of scenario. because Jesus exemplified the true image of God. So I understand that word Jesus, you know, if you look through history, it was like a made-up name, so to say. Because for me personally, I believe the character, you know, that it says is Jesus. He has a name, though the name might not be Jesus, but since Jesus is the accepted name, we just go by it. But me, I go by, you know, the character and the works of that person, you know, the Jesus is talking about. So now this Jesus only exemplifies the true image of the true God. Because you will understand that when Jesus left the scene and when the apostle went on, you know, to preach the message, their understanding was quite different. Something changed, meaning they didn't do like all the prophets was doing in the Old Testament, where they would say the God that kill and take it away, you know, fighting and killing and saying that, oh, it's God that is killing this one or is doing this, he's doing that.
Hold on, sir. I'm really sorry. Yeah. Let me take you here. I will point out, what do you call it? Is it Peter to you here? And I'll also point out Paul to you here. Now, there was a particular time when Peter was frustrated. He had to make someone go, is he blind? Simeon the sorcerer. Does that not exemplify or bring about the kind of temperament in the Old Testament? Exactly. Peter or Paul. And there was one of these apostles who was supposed to be the role model of this Jesus Christ, who was very perfect in nature and never sinned. And going back to the Jesus, who, because somebody sold their land, Ananias and Sapphira, except you are going to explain to me how the so-called the entity of the Holy Spirit began to kill people. They said they lied because of their land, and the Holy Spirit killed them. They died on the instance. I don't understand how that temperament of the Old Testament slipped into the New Testament. And then this Jesus, we were told that he never committed sin. You are a Yoruba man. They said, we should behave like Jesus Christ. But this Jesus in our modern day, if he pick up a stone, or let me say he pick up a rod, went into a church, let's say your church, and decided to flog you, overturn your altar and all these things, does that look like someone who is actually very calm, never did something against the society? You will justify him because he's the Lord and Savior. Now, aside from that, we kept hearing this Jesus saying that some people are brood of viper, generation of snakes, good for nothing, and all of those things. Are we going to just escape and remove our eyes from that and just feel like, okay,
well, you see, the issue of the brood of viper, you said, I think that should be John the Baptist, not Jesus.
Jesus also said that. John the Baptist started it, and Jesus also said that.
Yeah. Well, you see, one thing about Jesus is his own charter during his life and time was to preach the message of the gospel or the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven, or which is about himself. So, but because these folks he was always speaking to, they were always in unbelief. That's why he was very critical against the Jews of those times, because those Jews were more like custodians of these books. So meaning they should understand it and know better and know the time and sign when this thing is happening to them. Because in John 5:39, Jesus said something that when you search the scripture, you think there you find eternal life. That these things in the scriptures, which are Genesis 2 to Malachi, are his testimonies. That is, they were pointers to him. So, and those people, those Jews of those days, never believed him as the Messiah nor the Christ. So that's why most times when he was always speaking, especially to his audience, he was always speaking in parables. And that parables, he was, like watered down, the real thing he was to give the people. But because the people were not ready to accept it, he was always giving them in parable, encoded words. Then, after his death, burial, and ascension, when he came back, when you read Luke 24, you will see now that things turn differently, whereby he moved straight ahead to explain to his disciples, because he was very angry at them because they were in unbelief. They didn't believe. He called them fools, to be slow of heart, to believe all writings of Moses and the prophets, because all the writings of those guys in the Old Testament, they are about him, what he will come to do. but they never thought to understand it that way, because they were even taking it literal as political, because they were under the Roman rule. So since they were walking around with Jesus and he was doing marvelous things, they were thinking, yes, when the right time comes, we shall overthrow, these Romans who are here illegally to take our land and all of that. But that was not what Jesus came for, because he said his kingdom is not from this place. So he came from immaterial things. He came for more of what the Christian call spiritual. But in the whole of all this, when John 3:16 says, whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. That's why I always interject in your comments sometimes that what Jesus only came for is to give life, nothing more. He didn't come for you to have money, to have a good life, to have everything, because already in this fallen world, man has created a system for you to make money. So if you want to make money, you don't need to go to church to pray. If I thought you go to church to pray, it's still man that will still help you. So more of, if you even go out, look for job yourself, you will get job. If you need help, meet people to seek help. In this area, this guy agree with other churches. They always believe that, when you come to our church, your whole problem will be solved and all of that. It will never. In fact, that's when the problem will come the more. We come to God for God. We come to God for life. And the representative of God some 2,000 years ago was that man, we call Jesus Christ. Now, you said something about, Peter or Paul giving blindness to a layman or so, and, and Paul and Silas. Now, Paul and Silas, I think it's somewhere in Acts. And my own understanding is that this is the transition from the old covenant to the new covenant. And you know that change is not quite easy, because this Peter of a man that was preaching, that through him, Paul and Silas, these guys, they died because they didn't bring the full money of the land they sold. Peter, he used the old law to kill them. And that was Peter's mistake. The Holy Spirit is not part of it. Neither is the true God part of it. Peter,
Mr. Babalola, right? Mr. Demola, kílẹ̀ ń sọ fún wa yìí. Ó lo position over. So are you trying to tell me that this God gave them the power and authority to use their position just to kill people? Is that what you're trying to say? They misuse it. And this power is from God, right?
But obviously, it's not part of plan. But from what we could read from Jesus Christ, he never killed, he never offended. Rather, he was the one at the receiving end. So Peter, in this sense, old law, that's the power. Because
how did he use it? How did he use the old law? What the Bible said was that when they did that lie, it just said, why would you lie, blah, 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 like that? And then those people fell down and died.
Upon hearing this thing, upon hearing the statements the Peter made, he gave up the ghost.
Okay, so was he Peter? Was he not?
In context of Peter, he only upon when, I think Silas, when he heard Peter made all these things. Fear Peter, because of the transition, still had some old radical mentality of the old church. Because even in the New Testament, there was not much king, but like Elijah, to order, and that issue of Elijah, the concept, because even in the New Testament, Elijah was never mentioned. When he was mentioned, his disciples wanted to use it to kill people. See Jesus to feel rebuke one. So I mean, Elijah in the Old Testament, God wasn't behind it. Elijah, Tabari, I'm a question because now I'm beginning
Mr. Ademola.
Yes.
Let me know. Let me. I think we should talk.
I know what I'm saying. It seems weird or strange.
No,
because these things, woman, even we the Christians, I will say we, woman, like confusion.
Could make sense in Could make sense,
Exactly. And for years and years. That's why I could come out this time to say that there is truly a God. And that God was only represented by the man, Christ Jesus.
All right, now, so, the man Christ Jesus represented Jesus, represented God. Now, look at this.
God, the true God.
Yeah, let me now look at this. So God will enter redemption camp like that, scatter them. Is it not Boko Haram people that will be strapping themselves with bomb and be disrupting the peace of people? So God will now look at his creature and say, brood of viper. I think I have given you Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. It was the one talking there now. He said, you brood of viper, how can you who are evil say anything good? He was calling them brood of viper. Viper is a snake, right? But sir, I want us to calm down on that. I'm now going to take you to a particular place. There's a part of Quran for you to know do you know that Templars are Christians too? Have you heard about Templars before? The Knight Templars, who are soldiers that does crusade. Do you know? Have you read about the Maccabees? Do you know about the Jesuits? Those ones who are passionate, who kill for Christ, and all of those things. Now, exactly. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Do you know that a true jihadist? I was a Muslim before, sir. My sheikh was training me up to be a jihadist. Now, in jihadist, you know the end product they use in converting even the Christians to become the jihad under Islamic State. They believe, they will tell you instantly that Jesus, this Jesus, they will call it Jesus the Christ. I'm telling you, Muslim will now call Jesus the Christ, will come on the latter day and flow on the particular yellow sheet and will lead them to the greater war, which is the war of Armageddon that was recorded in the Bible. And then they will fight the last jihad. Now, let me now show you something. In Quran chapter 8, verse 39, Quran chapter 8, verse 39, this is what Allah said to them. He said, and fight them, meaning the unbelievers. This is Allah, supposed to be God. So according to Allah, even you defending this God is still an unbeliever. He said, fight them who are the unbelievers until there is no fitna. Fitna means rebellion. And until the religion of all become that of Allah. That is Quran chapter 8, verse 39. Now, check this thing I'm projecting on my screen right now. This is Matthew 16, verse 16. This is Jesus talking to them. He said, whoever believes and is baptized, those are two conditions. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved. But whoever does not believe will be what? Will be condemned.
Damn.
I think this God gives people free will to choose what to do or not, what they don't want to do. Why should people be damned? Because they do not believe in you. And so use your own standard as a condition for the world. The same thing Quran is saying is the same thing Jesus is saying here in the Bible. He also said in Matthew chapter 28, he said, go ye into the world to baptize all of them in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Either he said it or not, but that is a compulsion. And if you have ever listened to those people you call Daddy Geo before, they will tell you the greatest commandment that God gave to mankind is that particular verse. So either you believe and you are baptized or not. So this act of condemning people also proceeded out of the mouth of Jesus. It's so to say, if he ever existed or he ever lived there. You mentioned something, you said some things also don't make sense to you. And I believe that's where we are open-minded. And this is why this platform is different. Bring your differences, we bring our differences, we try to reason it, but we allow people to now judge for themselves. Am I going to still keep believing this thing, irrespective of the fact that comics, it does not make any sense to a child, to a baby, except we are going to start saying, let's use spiritual eyes to look at it. And sir, I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you something. I have a book here. It is written by Richard Caswell, Super Goals. Richard Caswell, if I ask him, he will say he also inspired. Either he's lying, either he's speaking the truth. I do not know. Sir, how do you defend what is not in your experience, sir? I'm going to ask you. What you have not experienced, whom you have not seen, whom you have not touched, whom you are not alive when they were existing. How do you beat your chest to defend something that somebody told you millions and thousands upon thousands of years ago? How do we get to this point? And then when we talk, we basically put all our belief and all our thing on the Bible alone. There is no scholarship. There is no references. All of these things, if they happen historically, it should be documented. We should have a place where we can refer to or reference to and say, okay, this is where this thing happened. Do you even know that the current place that the Israelis are occupying right now, they were imposed in that place in 1948 convention given to them? And that's why there is battle between them and the Palestine till today. And if you so want to find it, let's go and search where is the Ojuorori or the burial ground or sepulchre of Abraham. Let us test the bone of Abraham. Where did they bury Elijah? That Elijah that said they put one dead body inside and they rose up. Can we test the bone? Can we date it back? Can they show us the bone? Or they are just telling us fictions and they are not giving us proof and we are not bold enough to ask them? Go ahead, sir. I'm not going to query you any further, but I believe you are my brother. We are brothers and we are making sense together. I'm learning from you a lot, honestly. Go ahead, sir.
Well, it's true, because me too, I'm just my early 30s, and I've been having questions all along. Though I go to church, I study the Bible, I, meet people like you, to question, to argue, and, at least to come to a place of understanding. Even currently, there's a Muslim guy, they keep dragging, things about the Bible and the Quran, and at least we always make sense to some level. But for me, my own understanding, and in regards to the Bible, though the Bible in itself, particularly the Old Testament, it used to be in the Paleo-Hebrew, which is the original, because Elei is just like photocopy, rewritten, from the real original. And most of the writings of these people was more of a summary from the original, just to help our understanding. That's the way I see it. And the New Testament itself, when the New Testament came into life, it was, I think it was the Greek language that was invoked that time. Yeah. So Greek, called the real original. So we now have, the Bible today.
So you agree that there is no Hebrew Bible?
No Hebrew Bible.
No Hebrew Bible.
The original.
Okay, go ahead.
There could be the original. There could be the original. I do not know. I've not come across it, but I know there should be an original where all these things came from.
Okay.
So now where I brought my own understanding of the Bible is the New Testament, which starts from Acts through to Jude. No funny main explanation of the scriptures, which are the Old Testament. That's why the New Testament, where they refer to any of those characters in the Old Testament. Whatever line of thoughts, that is the exact real prophet I get. That's the exact real meaning. Like there's a situation where if you read the Old Testament, it was as if God deliberately told Abraham to go and kill his child just to test him, because I want to make doctrine out of it that Abraham giving his only child to kill and God was testing him and all that. But in reality, the way you read the New Testament, Ọlọ́run kọ́ ló sọ fún Abraham ló pọ̀ ló discretion ẹ̀.
Abraham ló tún lo bàbá ọkọ mi. Abraham used his discretion now. So it was not even God that was Mr. Ademola. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go out of the abundance of the love I have for you. And you and I, we will continue this on the background. See, I'm not lying to you. I appreciate you and I love you. The fact that of all the people making noise on the platform today, you are the only one that pressed your button and joined us today to speak about what you believe in. I give you a lot of kudos and a lot of credit. And I'm telling you the truth, I'm never letting you go. If you like, chase me, I will keep being on your neck. I will be your friend till the end of time. But we have gotten so many wisdom from you today, and I'm just going to let you go so that our people at home don't get weary about the whole program. Is extending to more than 2 hours, 30 minutes already. Do you understand us, sir? Right. Are you offended?
No.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Let's talk after the program. Thank
you.
All right. It was Abraham that used his discretion. Abraham must be an aya killer of some sort. What do you guys say? The seekers at home, can we wrap up the program today, or should we just We should continue about all these things. Somebody is actually fighting for their God here. Somebody is saying, Love Mayor is saying, okay, let me project it. He said, moderator, your bases are always wrong. You are asking questions with wrong basis. Why don't you just call us Love Mayor? Call us now. You dey fear. The God of Muslims and Christians are not the same. Have you forgotten that the same Abraham you people are shouting in Bible is the same Ibrahim that they are shouting in the Quran? Have you read the Quran before? Mayor, have you ever tried to read the Quran before? Because I'm telling you something now. You are doing like this, you are doing like this. There is nothing I knew about Bible that I've not first come across as a Muslim in the Quran. All those things, word for word. What are you telling me? If you go to the Church of Palestine today, when they want to talk about God, they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a church, but that is their language. How do we now begin to now make mockery of ourselves by thinking that when they call something language, it automatically means something else? It's like me saying that Chuku is not a Ledumare in our land here. The fact that our tongue differs and our language is different does not mean we are not referring to the same thing. So please, let's just quit that. Let's quit that. All right, somebody is calling in. Let's take this one as last. All right, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead, please.
Hello.
You're online. You are live with us.
Yeah, this is Igbe again.
All right.
Just a quick one before you round up. Sorry to call back, but I just have to. I see some people, they are a bit surprised when you said you was once a Muslim.
Yeah.
And then I quickly want to draw people's attention to this. And to the Bible, to the Torah, and then Quran. First of all, we have to quickly understand that these books are all called holy books. And then they are called the Word of God. In other words, they are referred to God. God cannot be author of confusion. So when the Christians are holding onto their own book and saying their Bible is holy book and it is the Word of God, Muslims are also holding onto their Quran and say it is also the Word of God. And the book of God do not agree with each other. Meanwhile, the Bible, the same their book also say God cannot be author of confusions. And I want the Christians to get this clear. Just as they have hellfire in their Bible, so the Quran also have hellfire.
They have the Jahannam.
If the Christian assume they've escaped hellfire because they believe in Jesus Christ, they are not saved. Once saved, always saved. Okay, they've not escaped hellfire. They should also understand that the Muslim hellfire, the Islam hellfire is awaiting them because they do not believe the ways of Islam. Islam also believes that if you do not believe in the ways of Islam, you do not believe in Muhammad via Allah, you also go to hell. So you see that all these books all this Word of God, these books that are called Word of God, Holy Book, do not agree with each other. Now, I want to quickly go down to the brother that was speaking concerning Sapphira and Ananias, Peter. Peter said to them, you are the owner of the money, you own property, the possession. You sold the money. Word of Peter. The man fell down and died. Now, who killed the man? Peter or God? This is very clear. This is very clear. Because nobody shot him to death. Nobody shot him. And he said something. The brother said something. I just believe he's listening. He said something that Jesus Christ came to give life. Life of what? Are we shorting life? Do we short life? Is it not the same Jesus Christ, the same Bible that says that he came for the lost sheep of Israel? There are no lost sheep of Africa. We are in our own path. We've gained our life. Jesus Christ, the story of Jesus Christ belongs to the descendants of Jesus, where he came from, not for Africa. But what I would tell people, because it's very late now, I would have loved to extend this and bring more facts.
Yeah,
So
we will continue
what
this particular review next week, surely.
Yeah. What I'm telling people is they should not generalize or personalize any book that is called Word of God, whether the Bible or the Quran. Do not generalize it. Do not personalize it. Because these are stories. Let me leave you here for now, Mr. Eli.
Thank you very much, Okosun. Thank you for calling. We will be letting everybody go to sleep now. We hope people that will join us, that will be coming up later to listen to this, will be able to listen to the end, because this is salvation. Now, if your Bible have ever told you anything, this is the only truth I reckon with. It said, you shall know the truth will set you free. Let every word we drop here begin to frustrate you into freedom. Break loose of that chain. And this is what I tell folks. I say, we cannot set a slave free by showing him his chain. We can only set him free by living in the fullness of our own freedom. When he becomes frustrated with his shackle, he will by himself set himself free. And being a seeker does not mean that you are in a cult or something. This is all that being a seeker had to entail. All we need to do is just seek. Okay, is this thing making sense? Does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense, we'll let it go. And see, you can follow me on all my social media at The Great Man Ayilara, both on Instagram and Facebook. Crystal Law Foundation is the name of our NGO, because we believe that humanity comes first, irrespective of whatever. Even before God, humanity comes first. And we talk about love, we practice that in highest of it. So we have Crystal Law Foundation, where we help people in need at any point in time, according to our pulse. And if you want to also follow us on 1 Million Seekers on Instagram also. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel right away. You don't need to go. It won't cost you another data. They won't charge you money every month for you to subscribe to Great One Ayilara YouTube right now. And then you can always reach us on our WhatsApp. That is what is calling underneath. You got a token, you want to support this platform so that we can bring exciting episode to you. You can put it on the account number that is scrolling below, and be sure that we always spend it to improve this platform. Someone asked me a question earlier today, asking me, why did I leave DSA and all of those things? I intentionally don't want to answer that, because I wanted to find out yourself. This is the reason why I left DSA and Daddy Freeze. This is the reason why I left them. I'm tired of the lies. I know the truth, and they don't want to live the truth. They want to give people the placebo. They're free to go ahead. I chose to walk this path alone and lonely. I didn't know these people when we started. And all of a sudden, because I choose to take this path and this road, I started getting attracted and getting close to these people. We started finding each other and making a family out of ourselves. See, you will not be lonely if you are with us. You are part of our family. We'll support you whichever way we can, especially when it comes to the truth and knowledge also. We have a Telegram page where you can join us, and we also have a Readers Club. Part of what we do in our Readers Club is the book we deployed, and that is what we are reviewing today. You can just send a message to that WhatsApp number to request for the link to the Readers Club. The only condition about our Readers Club is just a token towards humanitarian cause. We'll look for books for you. You will read. You will get scholarship. You will be free totally from the shackles of all these things. And we get a book from the source, from the very source where all these lies emanated from. All we ask of you is just support humanitarian cause. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we apologize for taking your time. All right. In rounding up now, Diamond Royal, I don't want to ignore you. Said, you were once a Muslim, then a Christian who converted many to Christ. Yeah, I made a mistake. Now you are an atheist. Is it not right to say that you might wake up tomorrow, but to say you have become a Buddhist? Now we will find out. Life is progressive. I just want to know everything I need to know before I leave all of these things. But I do not bow down to any God again, either small God or big God. And if I'm a Buddhist, I think I have to have a role model or a contact towards another God. So you can pitch my word against me when that time comes. Being a Buddhist, it's not likely. So just forget about all of that thing, all those things. I've seen people project that on me several times, telling me this and that and all of those things. See, when you think this is inconsistent, see it as progressiveness. You will leave something to go into something now. Yeah, you will leave something to go into something. So thank you very much for that contribution. God Day Kanyeme said the Islam believe that Prophet Muhammad is greater than Jesus, and Muhammad is the last prophet, and Jesus is not raised from the dead and ascend into heaven. Please, so what do you say to that, please? We can tackle this next week, Sunday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Please remind me this particular comment. Every man to his belief. You believe Jesus ascended to the heaven? He evaporated. Try and think about it. Human being, not water, evaporated. I don't know how strong the sun is that it will melt human being and go to heaven. I don't know. And for Muslim people that believe Muhammad is greater than Jesus, Muhammad itself is just a fiction character. The people that follow Islam, they were first called Muhammadan. I'll bring my guest again next week. Please remind me of this question. We'll bring our brother from our scholar department back next week. He will explain to you. But pending that time, I want you to go and cross-check this particular thing, the first coin of Muhammad, the first coin of Muhammad, and tell me what you notice, what you see. Read detail about it, and you realize that Islam is a subset of Christianity. Where you see that particular picture, you can reach out to me in the inbox, and we'll talk about it. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. All the seekers at home, blessings to you for coming, and I bow down to the divinity in you. I respect you, and namaste now. Bye for now.